I've come to the conclusion about something. I had a call last night with some of my best gal friends. Of course, the topic went to books. They were asking me how many books I was reading, and so I finally counted. And you guys, I have a problem. So this video, I am not going to stop until I finish the 9 books that I am currently reading. 9. Mood reading and being in a reading slump is real. The lighting right now is terrible, but you know what? Seasonal depression is real and I need all the vitamin D I can get. So let's talk about the books that I'm currently reading before we officially get into this. The first book that I probably need to finish is The Girls I've Been by Tess Sharp. I'm borrowing this from Libby and it's due back in a few days. Then I'm listening to a few different audiobooks. First one is Queen of Shadows, which is the 4th book in the Throne of Glass series. I've already read this series multiple times, but this is my first time listening to it on audio. Then I'm also listening to The 100th Queen. I've always been curious about this series. I've seen it and wanted to read it for a long time. And then I got it on audio, so I'm listening to that right now. The narrator's awesome. Then I'm also listening to Why Has Nobody Told Me This Before? I am enjoying what this one has to say, but for some reason I find myself spacing out, or like as I'm listening to something, I'm thinking about what she said and how it applies to my life, and then I lose track of the next thing she says. So I've been having to listen to this in like small chunks. I think it might have been better if I'd read the physical version of this, but it is what it is. Alright, now for physical book. I am buddy reading Legendborn with an Instagram friend. Then yesterday, I took the boys that I watch and nanny to Target to buy toys with their Christmas money, and while they were doing that I saw this and I started like reading it in the aisle, and I'm like 50 pages in now. Currently not with me but on my shelves is Maggie Moves On, which is really cute. I was annotating it, but then I set it down so that I could read the holiday books before the season ended, so I look forward to picking that up again. And one more ebook that I started a little while ago while I was trying to figure out what book I wanted to read next is Royally Crushed by Melanie Summers. I've read quite a few of her books and I've always really enjoyed them. They're always really fun, really funny, and so I'm excited to read this series. It's so lovely outside and I really want to take advantage of the sun while it's still here. I'm gonna listen to The 100th Queen while I clean my car because I am a nanny of 2 boys and we have snacks in my cars. Your girl needs to clean her car. So let's do that first.
23. I dine alone in my chamber and then send my supper tray away with Asha for the night. The palace is still crawling with guards on high alert. But the burner will come. He must, or we will run out of time.
It's so dirty. We got her all nice and cleaned up. We washed the windshield, the windows. We wiped her down. I don't have a vacuum cleaner that fits in here, so I'll have to vacuum later. So I tried to get the crumbs out. I have listened to almost 7 hours of The 100th Queen. I have about 3 hours left. Things are starting to get really good. There's one reveal that happened and I was like, whoa, I did not see that coming. Our main character, Kali, or Kalinda, is an orphan and she suffered from these fevers her entire life at this kind of orphanage for women. And because these men like donate money to these orphanages, they can basically come and claim a woman or girl whenever they want because they've donated there. They deserve it. Kali is claimed by the king. Is that spoiler? It comes out in like the first chapter. Anyway, she's claimed by the king. She goes to the palace. The kind of way that society is being revealed to her. So she's starting to learn a lot more about the world, a lot more about the king, and she starts learning about the origin of her fevers and what they really mean. There's some action, there's like a tournament for being a queen of the king or to like get the honor to marry him. I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm gonna take a break now that I finished cleaning my car and maybe sit down and read Legendborn for a bit. This is the craziness of mood reading, just like putting one thing down and picking up another one. read a little over 10 pages. I'm having a really hard time reading it. I read to like escape. I enjoy very lighthearted reads, and it's not that this is bad. This is not bad at all. The amount of time and effort and depth that is put into this book is insane. For those of you who don't know, it's like a King Arthur retelling, but I feel like every time I open this book, I have to pay such close attention. It's like a history lesson, and I'm not feeling it. I feel so bad because like it really is cool, and I like Bree, the main character. She seems really intelligent, and there's kind of a mystery surrounding her mother's death that may or may not have to do with this order, and I'm just like wondering, when does the learning stop and when can I just like read it and enjoy it? But hey everyone, I ended up reading a little over 200 pages of Legendborn. I feel like literally right after I complained about the pacing and all of the information that felt like a history lesson, it got so good around the 140 page mark. So if you're like me and it was kind of a chore to get through the beginning, I promise it does get better. The hype is real, but I am buddy reading, so I'm trying to kind of pace myself a little bit. We're not supposed to finish reading it until the end of the month, so I'll probably pick it up again a little bit later. I'm here in the car. My family and I took a little trip together to go to a local park and to go eat lunch. They're inside and I'm just like chilling and reading, so I thought I would update you guys. I am reading through Every Summer After. It's so good. It's so smooth and easy to read. It's a second chance romance, best friends to lovers, but something happens. The timeline is like present and past, so it's like jumping back and forth between the two. At the beginning of the book, they haven't talked in 12 years. Obviously something happened that was big 12 years ago. Sam, the main male character's mom, passes away, and she finds out and goes up there and they kind of reunite. So I'm getting really nervous what the reveal is, because I've heard a lot of people say, oh, I would not have been okay with that. And I've heard some people say like, oh, I can understand that. So I'm really curious to see what side I'm going to be on. One of my really good friends said that this is one of her favorite books of last year. I see a lot of similarities in me and Persephone, or Percy. We both love writing. We both don't really know what to do. We both don't really have a filter when we say things. So I can definitely relate to her, and also like kind of just being a mess sometimes. Yeah. Welcome to my life. I'm currently on page 110. Hey everyone, it's Monday. I am a mess, so don't mind that. I'm just trying to get like all my chores and exercise done before I shower it all up. Today's kind of a like getting things done type of day. I do have a few updates for you guys. I did finish the book, The 100th Queen, last night. I kind of have mixed feelings about it. It kept me pretty enthralled for a little while, and I really love the descriptors. It was just like such a rich, colorful, beautiful world that the author built, but it did take a long time to kind of get to the action and the things that were supposed to happen. And there was so much foreshadowing that I could see what was gonna happen a mile away. So that really kind of took away from what could have been like a really cool reveal or like moment. Also, I did a little bit of research on my own and found out that the author is not South Asian. The author was born in Canada and raised in America. It doesn't say anything in her bio about loving to travel or visiting India or maybe even living in South Asia at some point in her life. Like, I lived in South Korea. I saw Haley Pham, who also does book content. I love her channel, by the way. She was talking about Carrie Soto's back and how Taylor Jenkins Reid is not Hispanic or Mexican and wrote, you know, a Mexican character. You know, if white authors only write about white characters, you know, there's gonna be no diversity, but like, where is that line of writing about diverse characters when you're a white author? It's hard to say, so that's why I feel like I have mixed feelings about it. I think I will listen to the second book because I own it and maybe do a little bit more research. Like Haley, I can't really say I know and understand. Like, I just can't speak too much on it, but I can voice my opinion on like the confusion about it. You know, it's still a territory that authors are trying to figure out. There's a lot of growth in that area to come. So anyway, I am also like 50 minutes from finishing Why Has Nobody Told Me This Before? So I think I'm gonna listen to that while I do some like laundry and chores and stuff and bring you guys along.
Chapter 32. The problem with I just want to be happy. In therapy, when we start to shine a light on the way forward and think about what we want, it's not uncommon to hear, I just want to be happy. But the idea of happiness has been hijacked over the years.
Hey everyone, it's much later. I got a ton of things done, so I didn't get as much reading done as I wanted to. Yes, I'm sleeping on bare pillows in bed because I washed my sheets and then I promptly forgot them up at the main house, and I'm not going back up there tonight. Please tell me I'm not the only person who does this. Also, sorry for that sound. That's my fan in the background. I'll be succinct. Wanted to talk quickly about Why Has No One Told Me This Before. It had a lot of really great information. She broke things down into different categories like, you know, practical tools, how you view yourself, anxiety, stress, relationships, grief, and kind of broke them down into short chapters. So it's really nice when it's in these books and it's structured in a way that's easy to follow. She gives a lot of really great tips for things that you can do. Sometimes she gives you like a skill or something you can practice to put in your toolkit, and I really like that. If you really do practice the things that she suggests, I really think that it could have a benefit for your mental health. I do wish that I had bought it physically, and I think I probably will eventually when I feel like I need to reabsorb this information. One thing I really liked is how much she talks about being compassionate towards yourself and having self-compassion. The things you can do to calm yourself down when you're in a bad situation or like a downward spiral. Anyway, I'm getting detailed. I thought this was a great book with really practical, great information that anyone can use. I'm gonna do a little bit of light reading before I fall asleep, and then I'll see you tomorrow. We're gonna finish another book tomorrow. It's gonna happen. Good morning, everyone. I ended up staying up until midnight reading every summer after, and then I got to like this really awkward scene and I was like, oh, I can't handle this right now. So I ended up putting it down and going to bed because I had to get up early for yoga, which was rough to get up for, but worth it. I just love this library so much, and like, who would have thought yoga in the library? We just follow a video. There's not an actual instructor, but it's really fun and really relaxing. Ooh, I need to turn on this AC. It's getting hot in here. I'm currently on page 238 and I could feel things like starting to get sad and I'm like, oh, I might cry. So I decided to leave so I can finish at home in privacy. Guys, I'm so stressed. I have like 50 pages left and I like need to finish this book now. The reveal is getting closer and closer, but it hasn't come yet. But I need to know. This is making me sad. I'm on chapter 16. I like know what Percy's going through and how frustrating it is when your significant other takes you for granted and it's just like, I'll come to you when I want. Relationships are a two-way street, and if both sides aren't putting in the effort or at least like explaining why they aren't putting in the effort, you know, maybe they have something going on or, you know, just anxiety or something like that. But her partner right now is not doing that and it's making me so sad for her, and I understand her frustration and it's really hard to think clearly in those kind of situations. So I have a feeling she's gonna do something she's gonna regret. Oh, I want to talk about this, but I think it'll be spoilers. Guys, I finally finished it. It's above 4-star for sure. There were some moments in this book that I really enjoyed. Forgive me for I have sinned, but I marked the pages that I want to go back and like tab or highlight. Sam frustrated me a little bit. I've heard a lot of people saying, oh, Sam would be my book boyfriend, but I don't know if I would want Sam as a book boyfriend. I'm very into like open communication and stuff like that, and I don't know if he fits the bill. We'll say he's working on it. I just loved the like small town lake vibes, the summer vibe. This is such a summer book. Definitely recommend this for summer. Very slow burn. There were some spicy scenes, just a handful. And there was one scene when they were younger and like teenagers and they were kind of like sharing a first kiss situation. And I feel like Carly captured that so perfectly. It took me way back to like my first kiss and like all of the emotions and feelings as like an angsty teenager. I was really confused because I think some of the videos I watched describe this as a YA book, but it's definitely not YA. It's definitely an adult book, but I could see how the chapters in the past, like the dual timeline, feel very YA, more in a nostalgic way. Well done, Carly, well done. I'm gonna go nurse my book hangover now. Hey everyone, this is Editing Elise here for you. I was a little silly and on this beautiful, beautiful day, I decided to record this video with the windows down, and it was quite windy and I did not think about the effect that the wind would have. In this clip, I am telling you that I finished the book The Girls I've Been by Tess Sharp, and I'm literally just ranting about how much I absolutely loved this book. It was so fast-paced. I loved all of the main characters. It was so fascinating how Tess managed to create this book and to tell Nora's story. Nora's story was told by multiple timelines. It hops back between what she's experiencing at the moment, which is a bank heist. She goes to deposit some money with her friends for a fundraiser, and two very angry big men come and try to seize the bank. Then it goes back to the other girls that she has been and trained to be from her mom, who is a con artist. And it shows the things that she experienced and went through and what she learned to become who she is now, and that's Nora. So I absolutely loved this book. I highly recommend it. It might be a 5-star read. I'm still thinking about it, but I think it is. It's getting toasty out here, but it feels so good in the sun. We're at Starbucks. My family member is currently at PT. I usually go with them on Thursdays. Even though I don't need to come anymore, we've kind of made it like a little thing between us where we just hang out together on Thursdays. So while they're at PT, I'm at Starbucks. I got a vanilla latte with almond milk. I am 198 pages into Cricket Kingdom. I set it down because I was reading this during like the middle of summer, and you know, Leigh Bardugo has some like darker books and I'm a mood reader, so I was like, oh, I'll save this for spooky season, and then I didn't touch it. So we're gonna try and power through this. I'm gonna do a little reading sprint for like 20 minutes and see how many pages I can get through. Currently on page 198. Let's read for 20 minutes and see what we can get up to. Okay, so I read to page 221, so I got like 23 pages in or something like that. Guys, that was a crazy chapter. This chapter was Wyland's point of view, and it kind of has to do with his past and his mom. It kind of revealed something that his father did. What a surprise. Jan Van Eyck, what a douche. Holy crap, he's a douche canoe. He's worse than a douche. Anyway, that was crazy. Also, I freaking love Jesper so much. The only thing that I don't love about this book is how long each chapter is. Like, they're engaging, but they're so long, and I found that I like short chapters. Anyway, I am gonna go pick up my family member from PT and go about my day. Good morning, everyone. It's a few days later. I kind of took some time off this weekend to spend it with my family, and my boyfriend came up from Austin. We are currently long distance. We like to try and focus our attention on each other when we're around each other. There wasn't much reading done this weekend aside from listening to Queen of Shadows here and there. I listened to it on the way to work, all the way back, when I'm doing some cleaning and stuff like that. So I was able to finish that last night kind of late, and I just love that series so much. I love Aelin, I love Rowan, I love all of the characters. Chaol's not my favorite. He's just a jerk sometimes. Like, everything's about him, and I just want to smack him and shake him and be like, Chaol, it's not all about you. But he has a lot of growth, a lot of character development, and we love some character development. That is 5 books down out of 9. However, I found more books that I was reading, but on different apps. R.I.P. me, this video is never going to end. I don't use my books app on my phone very often. I'm normally in the Kindle app. However, there was a book on my book app called Devil's Lair. I was like 14% through that one when I found it the other day. So I did read some of that last night and this morning, and now I'm 50% through, so that's good. But now that brings my total books that I had started up to 10 current reads. Devil's Lair is, I already forgot her name, that's so bad. It's first person present, so I don't really think about her name very often. Chloe. It's about Chloe, and at the very beginning of the book, she's being attacked and followed by some unknown masked men who are shooting at her, and she's literally running for her life. And she's trying to go off the grid, but she doesn't have hardly anything. Any clothes. She is cashless, so she ends up in this rural town in Idaho and sees an ad for a nannying position for like $3,000 a week, and she thinks that she can't pass that up. That's too good to be true, and notices that the family is very well guarded. The house is giant, there's a huge fence and security guards and stuff like that, so she feels that she would be safe there away from these people chasing her. Come to find out that this family is very secluded, very quiet about their former life and where their wealth comes from. Chloe's kind of thinking maybe she's gotten herself into more trouble, but at the same time, she's really attracted to the dad of the child she's watching. She knows he should be off limits, but we all know how this is gonna end. In the background is that lingering darkness and fear and unknown about her future with these other guys chasing her. It's a fast, easy read. It's a good time. I'm enjoying it. As a mood reader, this challenge has been really tough because I like to read what I want to read when I want to read it. I hop around a lot. Usually I only have 3 to 5 books that I'm hopping around listening to, an ebook, a physical book, and an audiobook, and then sometimes maybe a nonfiction book is thrown in the mix or something like that. Having 10 books that I've started and gotten a good chunk into is a bit much. I'm glad I'm doing the challenge, but it's definitely starting to wear on me. 5 more books to go. I can do this. I can do this. Hello everyone, it's quite a bit later. I finished Devil's Lair and I'm so mad. It ended on a freaking cliffhanger. I don't think I've had a cliffhanger like that since Scarlet St. Clair, Hades and Persephone's series, or since Jennifer L. Armentrout's From Blood and Ash series. I thought cliffhangers were supposed to be a fantasy thing. I guess I've read so many standalone books last year that I haven't experienced many cliffhangers recently, so this was my first cliffhanger in a long time and it shook me. I'm so mad because if this were normal circumstances, I would buy the book and immediately start the next one, but it's not because I'm doing this challenge. Anyway, my battery is about to die. I got a little bit of reading done for Crooked Kingdom. I am 292 pages in, and you know, I knew things were just a little too calm because here comes Pekka. Good old Pekka. Sorry y'all, my vlog camera died. I got cut off in the middle of my rant about freaking Pekka Rollins. I said that Jan Van Eyck was a douche canoe, but I changed my mind. Pekka Rollins is the douche canoe of the Grisha universe. He is the worst. So Pekka just came in to ruin all of the plans. I kind of forget how condensed this timeline is. This book looks so long, so you think it's over a really long period of time, but it's really not. A lot of these things are happening so simultaneously. That's one thing that I don't love about this book and series, is how something good like just happens in one chapter and then all of a sudden you switch perspectives. But I know it's a style choice, and in the end it really does have an amazing effect. I can't help but be annoyed by it a little bit. So I think I'm going to do some more reading because I'm really enjoying this now. I'm so glad that I decided to pick it up again because I feel excited to read it again. When I was first reading this, I wasn't, and I was kind of sad about it because I really enjoyed Six of Crows, but I just wasn't enjoying this when I first picked this up. And I'm wondering also if it's because this is physical. In other books, it's okay if it's digital, but this book I feel like needs to be physically read, because I tried reading it on my Kindle app just the other day because I have both versions and I could not. I was not feeling it. But then I picked the physical book up again and I was just zooming through pages like nothing else. Physical book for me. Also, I ordered some new markers for my annotating because I was just using plain highlighters, and I feel like they were a little too bright and in your face, and these are a little more subdued. I've tried them out on a few pages and I like the way that they look so far. Let's see if we can find some. Oh yeah, here we go. Here is one. I like how subdued it is, although Kaz's is not subdued, but I love this quote. You're not weak because you can't read. You're weak because you're afraid of people seeing your weakness. You're letting shame decide who you are. We can endure all kinds of pain. It's shame that eats men whole. I just love the characters of this series so much. They have such distinct personalities. And even though Kaz is kind of cruel sometimes and definitely morally gray, I still love him and want to protect him. Actually, no, I want Kaz to protect me. Something crazy just happened, and then the perspective changed it. I'm mad. Day 12 in my reading challenge. Yesterday I got a good chunk of Crooked Kingdom done. I nannied some boys and they had basketball practice, so I took it with me and read it during basketball practice and last night, and I finished it. No spoilers, but I knew someone had to die. I knew someone was going to, and I guessed wrong, and I'm upset. I didn't want anyone to die, but I'm upset that it is who it was. I feel like it didn't do that character justice. It was sad. I feel like I was pretty satisfied with the ending of things. Leigh Bardugo, just... her mind is like a tiny, intricate clock that just somehow fits all together and makes it work. And I'm so glad I picked this back up again and finished it. I truly think that annotating while you're reading makes the experience that much better. I am really enjoying my markers that I got. I'll link them down below for you guys in case you want to get some for yourself. I want more colors, so if you guys have some markers that you love, please let me know. So this is book 7 out of my updated 10 books. 3 more to go. I'm currently reading Maggie Moves On. I got back into it this morning. And then we have Legendborn and Royally Crushed, and we'll be done with this video. What's up everyone? I'm going to my boyfriend's this weekend. We've gotten all the things that we needed to get done today. I am packed. I wrote, I did some online classes, I went for a walk with my dad, and I painted my nails. So I have about 25 minutes until I need to go to work to pick up the boys. So let's do a reading sprint. Before I do a little reading sprint, let's talk about this book. I am having so much fun reading this. I cannot tell you the number of times that I've laughed. I love Silas so much. I also love Maggie and the other characters, but Silas just like steals the show. I've been doing some annotating. I just put 2 and 2 together and realized that Lucy Score, this author, is the same author who writes Things We Never Got Over. And I heard that that book did really well and is really good, and also Small Town Romance. I'm really enjoying this, and they finally got to a spicy scene, and it was a good one. I think I stand by my earlier statement about annotating. The last few books that I've annotated, I've had such a good time, and it does take a little bit longer when you annotate, but I think it's so worth it because you can remember how you're feeling or what you're thinking in that moment when you highlight it. And so when you read back over it, it's kind of like you're re-experiencing that. Here's a quote that I really loved. He felt something like hot chocolate in his belly as she walked towards him. Silas was a fan of things that made him feel. He chased deep, complicated feelings and wrung every ounce of pleasure out of them. I think Silas might have moved up to be one of my top favorite book boyfriends. Just saying. I know I'm coming on strong, and I know a lot of it's just flirtatious fun, but when I look at you, Mags, I see something I've been waiting for. If you want to pause and read with me, I think that would be really fun. I'm going to do a 15-minute sprint before work. Let's see how many pages we can get to. Currently, I am on page 230. So, grab your book, set your timer, and let's do some reading. Okay, you guys, I just finished my reading sprint. I'm now on page 245, so I think I read a little over 15 pages, something like that. Now I have to go and I have to dry. Catch up with you guys later. This damn book. Alexa, off. I just finished Maggie Moves On. 5 stars. Absolutely 5 stars. I loved Maggie. I loved Silas and Dean. I loved the found family aspect, how they have the high schooler that they kind of adopted, and the cats and the dog and Silas and his big family, and all of the little connections and all of the little things that managed to weave themselves into the conclusion. It was so good. If you love a good laugh out loud book with larger than life characters, realistic romance, although Silas does kind of fall fast for Maggie, but Maggie's resistance kind of evens it out. If you love dogs, if you love home renovation, nature, small town, you will love this book. Excuse me while I go read all of Lucy Score's other books now and have a severe book hangover. Good morning, everyone. Yesterday I finished Maggie Moves On and had the absolute best time reading it. I'm still sad that it's done. However, I started reading Royally Crushed again last night, and now I'm about 30% through and I have some thoughts. This book and this series is a spin-off from the Paradise Bay series by Melanie Summers. Now, Melanie Summers is such an underrated author. I have read like 6 or 7 of her books. Some of them were 5 stars, some of them were 3 stars, but I still had a really good time reading them. Paradise Bay series is really fun, rom-com kind of enemies to lovers, and it's so fun. So this is a spin-off from that series. The first 2 siblings are in the Paradise Bay series, and then the 3rd sibling, Will, is in this Royally Crushed series. Will is kind of an adventure TV dude. He goes in the wild and does like docu-series and stuff like that, but his TV show is kind of failing. They said, Will, we're changing it up. First they wanted to do like a dating style thing. He was like, hell no. So finally they're like, okay, you get a female co-host to go with you, and it turns out to be Princess Arabella, who is also from another series that is in the same world. That series was really fun too. They throw Princess Arabella with Will and they put them in the middle of a jungle in Africa, and then they go. They're starting to film their series, and Will is being such an asshat. He's being so rude to Arabella. And it's mostly because he's upset. The series is not doing what he wants them to. They're threatening to sue him. She doesn't know what she's doing. Like, she really is kind of endangering them because she is so ignorant about where they are and all the dangers there. So he's like pulling double time and he's upset, but he's like being so mean to her, and I don't like it. I know it's gonna bite him in the butt eventually, and we're gonna see a nicer side of him with Arabella, but I'm so mad at Will right now. Not cool, bro. Good morning, everyone. It has been a time. I had a full, fun, very busy Sunday with some of my really good friends that I used to work with in Florida when I used to work at Disney. It was the best time ever. I did absolutely 0 reading, no regrets. And last night when I got home from work, I got into Royally Crushed and managed to finish that like just before midnight. The last update you got from me was me complaining about Will being an asshat. Not as bad as Jan Benek, of course. And it was so funny because, of course, right when I said that, literally the next chapter, they kind of like reconciled and were actually nice to each other and like opened up to each other. It's like, of course, right after I told the vlog that. This book, it was an adult book, but it felt very YA to me. There were some steamy scenes, but they were all fade to black. So it really could be a YA book. And Arabella is a princess. She's 29, right? But she reads very like a 17-year-old to me, which led to some very funny moments. But just the way that the two interacted with each other, granted they haven't had much dating experience, so maybe they are a bit immature in the romance area of their life. Yeah, it read a little young. It was still a really fun time. I'm gonna finish the series because, I read them like that. They're so smooth and easy to read. Another thought is that I really enjoyed the action and when they were out doing like adventurous wild things, but when it came to the internal dialogue, kind of jumped around a little bit, and to me, whenever you're thinking, you know, like one thought leads to another, whereas this one, it felt like it kind of jumped around. That's me being picky. If you know me, then you know I'm a Texas gal. If you don't know me, hey, I'm a Southern Texas gal. Live in Texas my whole life. South Texans don't do well with the cold, and today we have a wet, cold day below freezing. So all of the schools in the area have closed. A lot of the businesses in the area have closed because Texans freak out when it ices over, and so does our power grid. So it's gonna be an interesting few days, but I do have the day off because my very gracious employer is like, we don't need to be driving in this, so I'm very grateful for that. I am determined to finish this book. This is the second book that I started in the challenge, and it's going to be the last one I finish. I think I have about 200 pages left. We're gonna finish this so I can finish this video, which is so freaking long. I did not expect this challenge to go on this long. So that's why I kind of look like a bum, because I'm like not going to work today. We're just chilling. We're just gonna curl up, read a book. Okay, y'all, did some things, did some more reading. Brie just had one of her trials, like the physical fighting one. Does Brie like ever get a break? There's so much shit that goes down for Brie, always. Either it's like a revelation or physically she's just getting her ass whooped, and I'm just like, this poor girl. I just like want her to have a break, but she just like runs headfirst to everything. And she's so determined, so I respect her for that, but it also leads her into these situations, and I'm just, man, I couldn't. What is up, everyone? I just finished Legendborn. The ending is kind of crazy, kind of sad, kind of weird. I think that Tracy Dion has done a really fantastic job of weaving in little hints and Easter eggs that she's going to present and sort of give us more information about in the second book. However, I don't know if I'm going to be picking up the second book. Tracy is a masterful author. I am in awe of how she wrote this book and all of the things that she put together and created. I just felt like this book took a lot of effort to read. And that's not a bad thing. It's just not what I usually go for when I'm reading. And I'm wondering if that's maybe why I'm not a huge fan of mysteries and thrillers, because my brain is constantly like just chugging and churning, trying to figure out what's going on. And it's not a relaxing moment for me. It's good. The action scenes are amazing. I really appreciated that this author spoke on the things that she experiences and the frustrations and angers that she feels and the history and all of that, because coming from a woman of that background and like writing about that with experience is really eye-opening. I really appreciated this book. It's just not necessarily the book for me. If I keep thinking about this book and I keep wondering what happens next after a few months, then I'll definitely pick up the second book. If not, if I don't think about it again, then I'm just gonna let it go. This is going to wrap up the Clearing My Current Reads challenge. This video finally ended Tuesday, January 31st. It started on Saturday, January 14th. Originally, it started with 9 books. I accidentally found another book on a different app that I don't normally use and added a 10th book for me to finish. So 10 books partially finished, completed in 18 days. The first book I completed was The 100th Queen, then Why Has Nobody Told Me This Before, then Every Summer After, then The Girls I've Been, then Devil's Lair, Crooked Kingdom, Queen of Shadows, Maggie Moves On, Royally Crushed, and Legendborn. So while this challenge has been a really long time, it's kind of dragged on, I found some new absolutely favorite books like The Girls I've Been, Maggie Moves On, and Every Summer After. Absolutely loved them. This challenge was really great. I'm proud of myself. Now I can move on to new books with a clear conscience. If you guys made it this far, you are champions. I don't know how I made it this far, but I'm very proud of myself and I'm proud of you if you watch this. I'm grateful to you if you watch this. Okay, I think I'm a little bit delirious. I'm gonna go now. I will see you all in my next video. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me at my best and at my grubbiest. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Goodbye. I need to go now.